Hello students, a very good morning to all. This is Jasveer Kaur, your political science teacher, here to teach you about your chapter number 4, that is India's External Affairs, part 2. And till now we have studied about India's nature, India's policies, India's future vision, which type of foreign policy does India want to wants to adopt while it's setting up relation with foreign countries, other countries of the world at world level. Till now we have studied that India have adopted this policy, that is NAM, non-alignment movement. Non-aligned movement, very important. Every time one question is asked from this topic, every time it is very important, right? I'm sure that any one question would be asked from this topic in your board exams. And India's external relation, as we have seen that India adopted this policy, right? If we talk about the founders of this policy, NAM policy, it was Egypt and India were the first, and Korea were the first countries who took initiative for that. Why they took initiative? To avoid Cold War. There was, just after Second World War, this Cold War started, right? You will study about its detail in your second book, another book that will start afterwards. And Cold War, it was the war between two superpowers of the world. Two superpowers were who? USSR and USA. What happened just after this World War? UNO was established, no? That UNO, International United Nations Organization, was set up, and all the peace-loving countries can be the member of that UNO, so that the world can avoid the Third World War. Okay, no one wanted now there should be any war whatsoever. Disaster results were there by the Second World War. You may have heard many times the pathetic condition, very tragic, very bad condition of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, two places in Japan. Now also there are different type of disabilities, crops cannot be grown properly, like that, such type of bad impact of that weapons. Okay, ऐसे atom bombs have destroyed that is story behind that. But whatsoever this USSR and USA have a hunger of power. So they are every time try to dominate upon the world. USSR wanted, I will dominate. USA wanted that he will dominate. Now there was a Cold War between both the alliances. What they have done during this? Now they cannot make a direct war with anyone under the limitation and establishment of UNO. You know, right? As you know, then you know that Cold War was not a war with weapons, right? With atoms, with others, right? Nothing type of bombs and these nuclear weapons, nothing was used like that. But both the countries, both the alliance, USSR and USA, Cold War was between these both the nations. That war was based upon military alliances. What was that? It was military alliances. USSR made its military alliance named as Warsaw Pact. Named as Warsaw Pact, and the USA made its alliance NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Now there is indirectly hidden war between NATO and Warsaw Pact. These were the military alliances established by these countries. USA established NATO and USSR established Warsaw Pact. It has full topic in your second book. You will study there also. Here only this much. So that's why India, what was this NAM? NAM was policy neither to join NATO nor to join Warsaw Pact. To be away from both the camps. India wanted to keep its distance away from both the camps. These camps here recognized as USA and USSR. For that this NAM policy was adopted. There is one more feature, that Afro-Asian unity also there. Afro-Asian unity was also there. India wanted to establish good relation with African and Asian country. As Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru has very good vision of the future of this Asian country, he was ardent lover and firm belief in the unity of Afro-Asian countries. For this purpose, even Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, right, and newly emerged independent nations थी उस time, newly emerged independent nations, and I will call them developing nation. They were not developed, they were just developing. There Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru signed and held one conference over there, Asian Relationship Conference, in March 1947, 5 months ahead to our independence. Even in the month of March, this conference was held, and where Nehruji gave more and more stress to avoid different type of invades, different type of colonialism. He was firm, he was, we can say, deliberately taking the name of colonizers, the country who are willing, Dutch, French, Britain. India was very much against all these countries who were making other countries of the world under their slave. And for that India adopted this NAM policy, and that is the next. India want to keep distance away from these two camps, this one. Then newly independent Afro-Asian unity, India believe in that one, Afro-Asian unity. For that he under the leadership of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he organized in India that Asian Relationship Conference, March 1947. Even India was against, very much against, publicly at the world level against the Dutch colonialism who invaded Indonesia, and India helped Indonesia for its freedom struggle. And further, even critics, even USSR, USA raised this question, objected this, okay, you were saying that you are away from any alliance and you are taking part here for their freedom. Then Nehruji justified the statement, okay, we are ardent lover of freedom, we are ardent lover of peace, we don't want any country, especially from Asia, should be under any type of colonialism. Same thing was happening in South Africa regarding racial discrimination. You know that apartheid system, King Martin Luther's, Nelson Mandela's stories were there, na? And that South Africa में racism, apartheid system कैसे था, blacks based upon color, black and white. For that, to overcome all these things, when this NAM was established, I'm telling you simultaneously NAM and Afro-Asian unity, because these are correlated. And first its conference was held in Bandung conference इसकी हुई थी, and its first Earth Summit was in Belgrade, September 1961, under to maintain Afro-Asian unity. See the vision behind it. Nehruji were Nehruji was ardent lover of this type of independence, this type of freedom, not only for India but the other newly independent nations of the world, especially from Asia and Africa. That much you have to write here. When we talk about India's that NAM policy, once it happened during 1956, Britain attacked this Egypt. Britain attacked Egypt because earlier India was also under the colonialism of Britain, and when India publicly opposed it at world level, news channels, magazines, even giving support, giving ideas against, arguments against Britain, whatsoever Britain is doing, it is totally wrong, right? So that's why at the same time, meanwhile years, USSR attacked Hungary. But that time India did not come publicly in opposition, because during those days India has very good relation with the USSR, because we have adopted their economic system, that is socialism also, then mixed economy. Some more help we have taken from Russia. Even US was feeling uneasy and having some enmity with India. You were adopting this policy, why you are taking help from USSR, and why you don't speak against USSR when it attacked Hungary. That time even Pakistan was favored by Pakistan was favored by USA, and it was not somewhat easy, India's relation with the USA. India wanted that you are attaining a relation with USSR, or one side you are telling that we are under this NAM policy. When it was going on, that conference, and Nehru was co-founder of this NAM policy. There are some more founders from Yugoslavia. I will try to attach these pics, or you may search these pics. Yugoslavia, Josip Broz Tito. He was with Nehruji. And from Indonesia, Sukarno was there. He was the president of that. And one more person was there from Ghana, and one more person from Egypt and Korea. That you have to see, right? From Ghana, you have Rakurame was there, and Josip Broz Tito from Yugoslavia, Sukarno from Indonesia. Now you may correlate the relations, how this policy of NAM was adopted by India, even USSR and USA having themselves some clashes on this topic. When India did not oppose Russia, when Russia invaded this Hungary, USA questioned Russia, why are you making relation with India when he has adopted this NAM policy? And such type of criticism was going on, so forth, from Indian history, of this political history. And afterward, there is very good provision given in Indian Constitution, Article 51. Article 51. Article directive principles of state policies are given according to Indian Constitution. This directive principles of state policy shows us that India is always in favor to promote peace and unity. Not only within India, but at world level, India favors, and to maintain honorable, very good word, to maintain honorable peace and justice among all the countries of the world. That is also provision of UNO also, but we are also taking it. Then we have international law and treaty respect. Respect for international law and treaties. Whatsoever treaties are made by UNO and law are set up by UNO to maintain international unity, India will avoid by such type of dealings and encourage the settlement of international disputes peacefully. A very good example with Pakistan, India, right? You know that Pakistan is a small country comparatively to India. India can attack. Many times student ask also in class, okay, what is this happening? Chota sa country hai, why Indians are not giving them strong answer of their such type of activities. So we usually tell them that we are bound to our international rules and regulation whatsoever are set up by international organization, that is UNO. That's why we are somewhat abide by the rules and regulation, and moreover it is given in Article 1 Directive Principles of State Policy of India also that we respect the international issues, international peace, international law, international integrity, international unity, and whatsoever treaties are made, we will encourage them in peaceful manner. If there is any type of international issue, that also we will settle peacefully, not go for any type of opposition. Thank you. Bye students.